Hi friends, this is Chris with Josephine's Designs. I'm back with some of the goodies that we bought that are for our home or for our memories from our trip from New England. So I wanted to start with, I'm just going to go through the stack. I have not sorted anything. It's like Christmas. I'm opening it. It will be fun. Okay? Now, I have shared in a previous video, we brought back a small lunch box, or little lunch bag that we had gotten at the Cabot Cheese shop in Portland, Maine, and we loaded it full of cheeses, things that could travel 7 days without refrigeration. Now, every night we stopped, we put it in a fridge, but that's what we did. So I'm not going to pull all of that out because that's kind of boring, but hands down, if you haven't tried Cabot cheese, try Cabot cheese. Oh, it's so good. Okay, anyways, so many of you know we went to the breakwaters. So here we picked up, we literally ran through the souvenir shop. We were so late. So I'm going to, and I'm afraid, I think I have this camera. Hold on, guys. Let me move you a little bit. Okay, hold on. Hold on. There we go. I think the last one I had that wrong. Okay, so I hope you guys can see the last video. I'll have to check it. If not, I'll redo it. But we ran through the souvenir shop because we were super late. And we picked up 3 postcards each of the Breakers. I said the Breakwaters. The Breakers. It is the Vanderbilt Mansion in Newport, Rhode Island. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, you can see that that's gorgeous, but you have no... If you have never been there, it is incredibly beautiful on the inside. When we lived there in, almost 19 years ago, they only allowed, I think, us to see the first floor. We never saw the second floor. And we saw the basement in the first floor. We never saw the second floor. So the second floor has been redone. It is gorgeous. So I highly recommend this. It's history. It's fun. It's all of that. And I mean, it is as close to American royalty. You know what I mean? That gilded era. It's just a beautiful opportunity to see tremendous architectural creations and decorations, how they decorated the homes. And I mean, am I saying that's what I strive for in life? No. I live in the country. No, I don't. But I do appreciate the beauty of these homes. Now, wait till you see this. Look at where it's located. It's right on the water. That is the most beautiful lawn ever. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is the bridge that was on one of the freebie magazines that I was telling you guys that we crossed. So we were over here where all the mansions were, and then we went back out here across the bridge, and we went back over to Providence. So it really is worth taking time to go see. And then lastly, this one is Rosecliff. So my daughter picked up, we've been to Rosecliff. She picked this one up. I think it's beautiful. Main thing I wanted was the Breakers, but I think this one is gorgeous as well. So we did see that many, many years ago, but I think that's when she wants to go back to. So it was very pretty. So key thing is, you can take gorgeous pictures all day long. Postcards are cheap. It is easy for everybody to pick one up. And like I said, you're going on a tour, you're listening to an audio or to having a tour guide with you. It's sometimes, if you are very focused, maybe you don't want to take pictures. So go hit up the gift shop and get some postcards, okay? Now, I will say there's some places the postcards are ridiculous, but, Okay, we were also in Kennebunkport, Maine, and there was a shop that we love, and we went and bought sweatshirts and stuff like that. But they also had these, so I got these for my husband for his Christmas stocking. I thought these were just, I think I got these 2 for me and those for him. He loves politics, and so we were there for the Bush, when we lived there, it was for the Bush-Gore election. So one of the places that loved when we came to visit was Kennebunkport, Maine, and people treated us so kindly there. And so this was just a fun, they had a shop, it had all the good things, all the fun things, and it was very touristy, but we knew that's where we wanted to go get a sweatshirt. And my husband, when he said, I want to go to that shop, and I described it, and he goes, exactly, that's the one. And I said, yeah, the one by the bridge. And he goes, yes. So I picked these up secretly. He wasn't with me, so I thought that was fun. And that's just kind of a fun, kind of a gag stocking stuffer. Okay, now, let me see here. Oh, you know what? I think I'm not supposed to see this. Well, I'm going to show you. Look what my husband got me. This is his bag. He went into a shop. I love putting good. This is my favorite lighthouse. So, anyways, and he picked up a shaving bar. So, my husband has a very heavy beard. So when we travel, he tries new things. Now, they had a 30% off in this shop. So that's why he went and bought it. And it was small. He could put it in his bag, and that was that. So, okay, I didn't see that, and you didn't see that either, okay? But I will take this receipt because that will go in our scrapbook. Okay, so I will give this to him. And another thing I was going to say, sometimes you go into places and you love the place so much, you keep that. You keep the bag. Like I have one for Orchard House, and that's already packed. So I have a lot of stuff packed already that are going to be things that we'll use in our scrapbooking. I'm not going to show you all of it. It would so bore you. But I saved the front part of the bag where it talked about Orchard House, which is the house that Louisa May Alcott grew up in, and she wrote Little Women in and all of that. So that was something that I thought I liked. So, all right. So there's that. And let's keep going. Oh, yeah. All right. This is a shop that I adored. Now, I have a couple of things kind of mixed in together. So when you're leaving, you take what you can, put it in. Because this poor bag has seen better days. We'll get rid of that. Okay. And actually, that would have been fun to journal with, but I'm not going to keep it. I've got so much right now. We're trying to get everything put away. So let me sort this out. So again, business cards. This is the shop that was like local artists, craftsmen, and I loved it. I got a sea glass bracelet there. I'm going to show you some of the other things that we picked up there. It was totally affordable. It was reasonable. There were specials. And I will save this. Not only is that gorgeous, that's just a copy of somebody's artwork of a lobster, but there's the information. So I will put that in my scrapbook it'll be like a little tip in, or probably this way, yeah. So that I can see, I can refer back to this for the next trip. Okay. So, I think I bought these. Okay, so at the main diner, there was the gift shop next to it that I shared with you guys before. I picked up, it's amazing what I can accomplish when the internet is down. I thought these were cute, sticky notes. And then these are darling little page flags. And I love wildflowers, and it was just like, oh, that's perfect. And the paper crafter in me could not go home without something paper. Anyways. And I really have a haul somewhere. I haven't found it yet. I've got to show it to y'all, but if I can find it, I'll show it to y'all. So we wanted this because there were 3 of us that went on this trip. And this is from that particular shop that does all the local artists. So we picked up the winter and the summer versions of those. We love the Adirondack chairs in New England. I picked up a calendar of the Kennebunks. So here is all the different pieces of art. And it's in calendar form. Sorry, that's noisy. And this is a great thing to pick up. You can put it in a frame every month, and then when you're through with it, you can cut it out. You can do whatever you like with this. With some of this you can't cut out, but anyways, I just thought this was so charming and lovely. And that is, I believe, 5x7, and I'll put it right in a 5x7 little picture frame, and that's that. Actually, let me just do it like this. And I literally went, and I'm trying to see if I can see them. I have a stack of the copper picture frames that you get at the Dollar Tree for $1. And I'm ready to frame everything today if I wanted to. So I have shared this in our restroom, my husband's and mine in our bathroom. I have collected, what do you call these, postcards. And so I pick up things like lobster traps, very kind of photography type postcards. And I just framed them. And that's what we have hanging in our bathroom. My husband looked at this and he saw this, and they had a special. We didn't pay this price. But, and even if we did, it was totally worth it. But the thing is, these watercolors were lovely. And he said, how about we upgrade? And I said, you know what? I agree. So, I'm not sure I'll get rid of all of those because they have literally been hanging in our bathroom since probably 1998 in all the bathrooms we've had. So that's a long time, you know. So, you know, it's a little over 20 years. So I'll probably, you know, and they're in frames. And so I'll unframe them and we'll decide what we're going to keep and what we're going to, you know, maybe we'll put that in a journal or, you know, I'll make something out of it. But so I picked up that. Now, here's another little cost-saving thing that we figured out. Okay, again, so here's that shop again. If you're in Kennebunkport, Maine, beautiful shop. So this is their like information card, and I would definitely put this in with a flip in my journal because I just think there's a lot. So it talks about the artist. It talks about, you know, the work that she's done. Oh, look at that, of Goat Island. I did get that. I was just going to say, did I get that? So there is a really beautiful, we have driven by this little church. It's so gorgeous. I saw this. I had to have it. This is almost the same. It's a little bit smaller, but these are prints that have been matted. These are prints that are supposed to be postcards. Yes, that is a way to save money, my friends. So these are a lot less expensive. So we picked out a few things to be supportive of the artist, and then we picked out postcards. So I thought that was beautiful, and I think my daughter had picked out some. And then here's the lighthouse. Yes, that is Goat Island, my favorite light. So I love that. The lobster boats that are parked offshore are so fun to go look at. Here's some more local beach. I think I have one there. And then look at the seagulls. I think my daughter picked that one out. And this was a card, a gift card. So I picked that up too because I thought, ooh, that's pretty. And that's exactly how it looks. The boats are docked out in the water and then they have buoys that mark them, and they take little bitty tiny boats out to get into their boats. So anyways, and that's the houses right on the edge. More of the lobster buoys. And then this is a very beautiful hotel in Kennebunkport. Let me see. It says No Non-Tum Peace of Mind. I don't know if that's the name of the hotel. I can't remember. But anyways, there's a beautiful hotel that is there in Kennebunkport. And then here again, the lobster boat. So we picked up things that we can frame ourselves, things that are matted already, and then things that we can have throughout the year to remind us of what a lovely time we had. So there's that stack. And then, oh, you know what? I got to put that in there. Okay. Because you and I didn't see that, right? What my husband got. This is Cape Elizabeth. This is a gorgeous lighthouse. It has somewhat deteriorated. It is privately owned. The light is not functioning, of course. Once they're decommissioned, they are no longer an official lighthouse. But it has this part. It needs to be repainted, and I'm sure it's not an inexpensive endeavor. But we're hoping that the owners kind of get it back up to snuff. But it is one of the most and it has been one of the most beautiful lighthouses in the Northeast. So in Maine. But I saw that postcards or card, so I picked that up. And then, okay, good. There is my haul. Okay, so this is the inn, the Kennebunkport, Maine, and it is the Maine State Inn. I shared some pottery mugs that we bought, one for my husband, one for me. We'll give them to each other for Christmas. This is where we stayed on the very first trip we went up there. We flew into Boston. We went through Maine, stayed here, all through Kennebunkport, drove up to Vermont, stayed in Vermont 2 nights, and then year after year after year. I did not think, I thought we'd have to be upstairs to stay there. I am so glad we took the time. You know, the funny thing about when you travel, things change or you forget how things are, and you're thinking, I'll never forget this place. But I did, and the new owners were so gracious. They welcomed us in because my husband went in to, you know, just kind of peek around, and they said, come, go get your wife, your daughter. And so we were in the car. They came and got us. We took a picture out front, and the owners were absolutely charming. I highly recommend this B&B. They had bedrooms downstairs that were gorgeous. There was one right here. It had a sitting area and then one in the back part of the house. And then they have a beautiful parlor there and then a beautiful dining room behind. The food was phenomenal. It just was a great place to stay. So I'm going to put that there. in case any of you are interested in that information. You can hopefully see it right there. Sorry, we have a little bit of glare. It's afternoon sun. Okay. Now, so Seize the Day was a shop that we went to. Everything was 20% off, and I can't remember if this is where I got this or I got this in other places, but these are cute for your scrapbook album. I mean, these are just charming. It gives you the name of the shop, where it's located. It gives you the place. It gives you what it has. If you want it, the website. These are things you save, and then when you can't go back and visit, you call and you order and you say, oh, do you sell that, wild blueberry jam? Well, I'd like to order some. Or do you sell that wild blueberry tea? I'd like to order some. Or do you have that sweatshirt, or do you have a t-shirt? And because I have done that for years, I ordered my husband tea throughout the years. First thing we got up there, we literally got, we got in the night at midnight. We checked into our hotel in Providence, Rhode Island. We got up the next day. We drove to Wells, Maine. My husband walked right in and he picked up the same blueberry tea I've been ordering for years. So there are things like that that I'm glad that I saved these kind of things in my scrapbook, because it just reminds me of, oh, what did they have there? Well, I'll go look at the website, or I'll give them a call. That kind of a thing. So these kind of things are fun to have. Now, the crafter in me could not pass these up. These are absolutely charming. I don't know what I'm going to use them in. I love that one. And I just thought these were too much fun. I mean, how darling are these tags? They are very well made. They were on sale, and I just loved them. And so maybe I'll do a whole album of just these tags and put pictures in there. I don't know, but I just thought these were so cute. So I picked those up as the crafter would for myself. That was my treat. Then, and I'm telling you, every time I open up one of these, it is a brand new. Oh my goodness, I didn't remember we picked that up. Again, I will say this. This is from the Quincy Market near Faneuil Hall, and it's in downtown Boston, and we took our daughter there because we wanted her to see Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market, all of that. And so I will definitely keep this. This is just the museum store that we went into. These were the most expensive postcards ever, not gonna lie. But I just thought there were just some really instrumental things that I wanted each one of us to have one. So there's of the threes, and I wanted my daughter, if anything, it just piqued her curiosity to go and reread the history of the places she was visiting. So, and I believe that is Faneuil Hall. Hold on. That is the Boston Massacre. I think that is where it took place. But now I'm going to have to go read about it. That looks like Faneuil Hall, but I may be totally wrong. But we'll see. Okay, so I picked up this because we went and drove the coastline, and we showed her all of that, and told her about the Big Dig when we lived there. And then this is the new bridge there in Boston. So we had to go over that, and we wanted her to see that. So I picked up those. So again, we have them in threes. Everybody gets a postcard. And then I sent them downstairs because there were two parts. There was like a kiosk level and then an downstairs part. And by then I had been walking and my knees were like saying enough. So we picked up things. This is Faneuil, the old State House. And yep, that is exactly where that was. So there's the old State House where that massacre took place. Here is the old State House. Okay, so you know where we went. So my daughter, she picks out different cards for each person, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. My husband picked this up because he stayed in one of the interview trips. He stayed in a hotel right by that clock tower. And then I used to take, and she picked up one of these, so we'll probably put that somewhere else. But we love the story Make Way for Ducklings. This is from the Boston Commons. She sat on that deck when she was little. And so that was an important thing, I wanted to pick up. But anyways, or she picked these out. Maybe she picked these out. And I'm sure it was buy 5 for X amount of money, and that's why she did it. Another thing I picked up were things like lighthouses in Maine. Okay, anybody who knows me knows how much I love the lighthouses of Maine. And I will sit and read these over and over and over again. And I love the books, the stories of the lighthouses of Maine. I have for, I don't know, almost 30 years. So this was something that I picked up at it says the Island Guide to Maine. I picked this up at the Portland Headlight bookstore. They had a little gift shop bookstore. I picked that up there. Another thing is when we were in the Cabot cheese shop, they had Darling things in there. And so my husband raises chickens and eggs and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So I showed this to him. He said, yeah, I like that. And so I'm going to get this for him, and I will hang this in my kitchen. So super cute. Another thing that I wanted to share with you is here is that large print of Goat Island, and that will not go in my bathroom. It will go somewhere very nice, very prominent, because it is one of my favorite places. And it was again from that shop in Kennebunkport. They're kind of out of order, so please forgive me. And these two things I picked up at the Portland Headlight bookstore. Now hold on, I'm going to scooch all this out of the way so you guys can see everything. The Portland Headlight bookstore it's a great bookstore, but it was very packed, and it was not really fun to go through. It's very, 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 very small. They have changed the lighthouse keepers' quarters. One was for the lighthouse keepers family, and the other side was for the assistant lighthouse keepers family. And they have now made that into a museum that does not really tell that story. So there was a lot of change, and I'm sure people love it, and we loved it. We loved the history of it. But, and there's also like war bunkers there, and, you know, all of that was included, and we enjoyed all of that. But, there was something lost. And so, I mean, I love Portland Headlight. This is the house where I'm talking about, and one side was for the keeper, and one side was for the lighthouse keepers' assistants, the families. They were almost identical quarters. But there's been something lost in that. So things have changed since we were there, and I was so glad that I went back with our daughter, because my husband didn't remember that fact. I did, and so I was glad to share that. And I really couldn't find anything in the museum itself that spoke to that fact. So, anyways, there you go. And then here, of course, is that Cape Elizabeth light. These are gorgeous lighthouses. They're right in the area, so we love this. So my husband, we bought this, and this is also going to hang somewhere prominently in our home. And we bought it framed. This is the only one we bought framed. And I brought it back. I had this in the bottom of my suitcase. It had my journal in it and some of my stencils and stickers and things, and it fit right in here. And I mean, this was the best idea ever. It fit in my suitcase beautifully, and therefore this was so protected, because I was just like, how do I get this home without damaging it? God was gracious. The other thing that I picked up without even blinking is the Lighthouses of Maine calendar. This is my favorite calendar. My husband used to order it every year from Lighthouse Depot. We didn't even know. In 2010, Lighthouse Depot closed. We were finding that out on the road in Maine. Devastated. We knew we were going to go to the Wells Diner, which is where the Lighthouse Depot used to be, and we were so sad that it was not there. I would make special trips up there. We always stopped there. We always ordered from there. We hadn't in the last few years because what had happened? My parents became ill. And in case you're saying, well, there's a gap of time. Yeah, I had surgery in 2009, almost died. It took me 2 or 3 years to recover. Then my parents became ill. So we did not recognize that it had happened. So I picked this up at the bookstore in, the little like gift shop there. So I love these. It shows you where all the lighthouses are, gives you the directory, and then they're just gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. So this is a beautiful calendar. It has always been a beautiful calendar, and here's what you get with it, and it's $13.95. I think I saw it one other place for $12.95, but I didn't care because when we used to order it, it was $20 with shipping. So I feel like it was a great deal. I knew specifically this was top of my list. I knew that that was something that I wanted. My husband wanted the tea. I wanted the lighthouse calendar. So anyways, hold on. I'm going to set that where it won't get broken. Here's another thing they gave us, and this should go with that previous video, but we did bring home, all kinds of goodies. This will stay whole. This will go in our scrapbook. It was just, we love the main diner. So there's all that. So pick up everything that they'll let you take it. You can put it in your scrapbook. Last but not least, because we were running so tight to get to our airplane to come home, I ran through the Newport, we were at the Breakers. I ran through there, and I looked at the gal and I said, I want a video, a DVD of this, of either this particular mansion or of all of them. So this is Newport Mansions. This is put out by the Preservation Society of Newport County. These are absolutely breathtaking, and I believe it shows all, or a good portion of the different ones, and every one that I see on here we have been to. So this is really beautiful. When you run out of time, if worse comes to worse, stop and buy the DVD. You can't hear everything the audio things say if you're in a hurry, or if you're taking tons of pictures, or there's lots of people there, or people are talking to you. You will go home and say, what did they say about that? And, oh, what was that they were describing? This is a great gift to bring home. That's all I can say. All right, there were some other things I picked up, but they've already been packed away. I picked up books for each daughter for Little Women for Christmas and daughter-in-law. I wanted every single one of us to have a copy of Little Women. It's a gorgeous bound, beautiful book. I picked up a few postcards there, but they're already packed away. So I just wanted to share with you, when you travel, what are the things that are most beneficial to bring home that everybody would enjoy, and that you can, that maybe just aren't so, what am I trying to say, touristy cheesy? Which I can be touristy cheesy, but these are things that we can put in our home that remind us. We always come home with books. We always come home with lots of postcards, and if we can, DVDs, and then we also come home with something fun, something silly. And these were not expensive. So, take the time, figure out what it is that you want to do when you're traveling. You have to set your budget. You have to make your determination on what it is you can afford and not afford, what you should do or not do. But, definitely take your time. Know what it is that you want to do when you travel. Know if you want to stop and get some things that you can use in your art. If you like, playing with art goodies, and pick up things if you aren't going to those places that time that you're visiting, but you want to come back and go to it. Go in, pick up a flyer, a postcard, whatever. Take it home, put it in your file for the future, and have a little working file. If I go back to the Northeast, these are the things I want to see. Does that make sense? Okay, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was kind of, it wasn't exactly like, here's the pictures from my trip, those kind of things where you get invited over to watch the slide presentation. But it was just ideas of things to go and pick up and use and put in your scrapbooks and enjoy as a family, or decorate your home with. Make very wise decisions when you go. Don't overdo. Make sure that when you're there, you talk it through if you have a spouse and say, what is it that you think we should do or not do? And, just like replacing some of the things that hang in our bathroom with more up-to-date, nicer versions of them, I thought that was a great suggestion. And because our bathroom's lighthouse, pink and green lighthouse, figure that out. But anyways, it does work. Weirdly enough, it does. But, do things like that when you're traveling. See what you can find. Work on what you can work on. And enjoy your journey. Okay, friends, I am going to let you go. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I know it was very different, and I know that my travel videos have been very different. Things to take, things, that kind of thing. And I will come back with some updated things, not yet, but in the next couple of months, of what worked when we traveled and what didn't work when we traveled. Right now, we're packing out for grandbaby coming, and y'all just please keep us in your prayers. We're praying that she's been, kind of in and out of possibly going into labor. So we are hoping she's not due. Today is the, oh goodness, let me see. Today is the